Hi, I'm Jo Faith and welcome to Your Money TV, where we provide you with the best content and information to help you save, make and understand money. Today we're joined by Sean Oldfield of Castle Trust, who's going to talk to us about shared equity.
Shared equity is a new way to help people buy their home, which is very different to the way in which a traditional mortgage works. So a traditional mortgage, you have interest payments that you have to make every month, and maybe you're paying off some of the capital every month as well. Whereas with shared equity, someone's really coming and co-investing in your home with you. So they're investing and sharing in some of the profit and the loss rather than charging your monthly interest rate. Well, there's various different providers. So for example, the government's shared equity offering is available on new build properties only, and there's a number of other restrictions regarding the fact that you can only have a small deposit and you have to have a relatively high loan compared to the value of your income. And then our shared equity is only available on existing homes, and we also check that you can afford your home in a reasonable and sensible manner. Well, it's really for people who are thinking about housing in a new way, which is that a house is a place to live and not really an investment. And so you're really thinking about your house as a place to live and letting someone else take some of the risk in terms of how it might perform in the future, which is why you might want to share in some of the profit and loss on your home. And also, of course, it reduces your monthly interest costs, because if you're sharing the profit and loss with someone and they're not charging you any interest, then clearly every month there's lower outgoing. So it's really there to help you buy a home in a more affordable and less risky way. Well, why don't I start at the end with equity release. Typically equity release is for people over 65 who would like to take some of the money out of their home and not pay anything on it. And so that's a very different target market than shared equity and shared ownership. Shared equity and shared ownership are typically for younger people who would like to buy their first home or their second home. And shared ownership is where you share in the ownership of your property, so someone else actually has their name on the title with you. And so that has a number of different and difficult things to deal with. Shared equity is done by way of a mortgage contract, which means it's much simpler. You own the title to your house, and there's someone there that just is asking to be repaid a share of the profit or loss when you sell your home. Well, different offerings have different terms. So the Castle Trust Partnership Mortgage is repayable after 30 years, and some of the other offerings are much shorter, so some are between 10 years and 25 years. Then you need to either remortgage to someone else to help repay that, or you could sell your home because your home is going to be worth more than the amount that you borrowed to start with, because you're sharing in the profit or loss on your home. With the Castle Trust Partnership Mortgage, the answer is no. There's no rent or interest every month. All that happens is we share in the profit and loss on the customer's home. With the government offering, yes, there's interest after the 5th year, and I think there are a number of other local housing authority offerings as well. With the government offering, I think the answer is no, you can't. With the Castle Trust Partnership Mortgage, yes, absolutely, you can repay the partnership mortgage, or you can repay your traditional mortgage as you see fit. It's different for different schemes. With Castle Trust, the answer is yes, you can, and that will give you credit for say if you wanted to build a conservatory, we'll give you credit for the value that you've added to your house there. Whereas with some of the other shared equity offerings, you're not allowed to do any home improvements at all. So you bought your house for £200,000. So what we would have done is we would have given you 20% of the value of the property to start with. So we would have given you £40,000 to invest in your home with you. And then if you sold it 5 years later, and in fact it doesn't matter if you sold it 5 or 10 or 15 or 20 years later, we would share in 40% of the gain, which is you made a £20,000 profit on that house, and so we'll share in 40% of that £20,000 profit, which is £8,000. So you'd repay us that amount of profit share of £8,000 plus the original amount we invested in your home, which is £48,000. And that doesn't matter if you bought it and sold it 5 years, 10 years, 15, 20 years later. And actually, if it went down by the same amount, the interesting example that most people don't expect is if you sold it and it's fallen in value, we'll actually share in the loss with you. So we'll also share in 20% of the loss. So if you sold it for £180,000, we'll share in 20% of that £20,000 loss. So we'll take £4,000 of loss, which means we gave you £40,000 and you repay us £36,000, which most people find very surprising.
Thank you for watching Your Money TV. Join us next time.